Get ready. Get set. Because it's time to go with the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. With your host with the most, the man voted most likely to smoke out with a Yeti, Mr. Brian Brown. Mr. Brian Brown. Now sit back and relax. Because it's time to go live across the world. Because it's 420 Somewhere.
What's happening? What's happening, guys? How's everyone doing? That's right, it's got to be 420 somewhere. You've hit the wildest and craziest podcast countdown show madness rolled up into one, guys. If it's your first time watching, you're in for a hell of a ride. If it's your 100th time watching, we're getting close to 100 episodes, by the way. It's going to be a hell of a ride, so buckle yourself in. What this is, guys, this is a podcast Monday through Friday where we count down to 420. And you could watch it on the replay. You could watch it at 3 a.m. You could watch it from a year ago, and you could still count down to 420, guys. That's why it's 420 somewhere. But in the meantime, we get into a whole mess of stuff, guys. We do the wildest movie reviews on Movie Monday. We do Paranormal Tuesday, where we talk Bigfoot, ghosts, conspiracy theories, JFK, Jimmy Hoffa, you name it, we cover it, guys. Weed Wednesday, we get into some crazy weed stories, demos, product testing, strain reviews, guys. And then we go True Crime Thursday, which is always a great one. And normally we do Baked and Unboxed at 420, guys. This is our hit show that we've been doing for 2 years now. It's a show where we get baked together and we unbox the hottest and the greatest collectible boxes and just the craziest subscription boxes out there. But guys, we normally do that today. But yesterday we got into something. We were in True Crime Thursday, and we started talking about the Espanola, New Mexico, sheriff department and their sheriff, and we got in deep, guys. So if you don't know about this, this is part 2. And don't worry, we're going to recap part 1 so you won't be lost. But this is part 2, guys. This is a sheriff who shows up. The city police have a city council member, I believe, who was involved in a shooting, barricaded in his house. Well, they have him locked in, they surround, they set the perimeter, and the sheriff shows up, but he's drunk, and he's telling him to leave. And then they try to serve a warrant on him, and it's a whole big mess. Today, guys, they're raiding the sheriff's office. He didn't comply. Yesterday we saw, and like I said, we'll do a recap, but he didn't comply. And they're going to straight up raid the sheriff's office, guys. Insane. You do not want to miss it, guys. But what do we also do? We count down to 420, and we check out the craziest fails on the internet, guys. These are epic fails. Our minions. These are workplace fails, or just working fails, I guess, because there's a couple like yard hacks, if you will, in there. Hey, this is coming from the guy who once, more than once, blew out the kitchen instead of sweeping. I just got my freaking blower, my leaf blower, and blew everything out the back door. Hey, it worked. It got in every corner, every crevice. Hey, Tim Allen, right? All right, guys, we are going to check these out right now. This is the top 5 at 420. That is right. Epic working fails. Here we go, guys. And that's right. Top 5 at 420 brought to you by the Healing Center. They got the flower bowl of savings down there, guys. Make sure you're hitting up those wild weekly deals have dropped just like her butt on the floor, guys. Check out the dailydank.com for those wild weekly drops. We're doing some Super Bowl stuff too, so keep on it. Oh, God. Oh, right on her freaking cheek, which I guess is where you want to land. Oh, hopefully she wasn't pregnant the way she grabbed her butt or grabbed her belly. Now this is the hack I was talking about, guys. When your weeds are just out of control and you don't have a weed eater, bust out that. Oh, this guy. That reminds me of what my dad would do. All right, number 3. No. This reminds me of the girl who was saying she wouldn't order a large pizza with 12 slices because she couldn't eat 12 slices or something. Oh, number 2. All right. When you notice. I didn't notice. What was that? Oh, this ain't gonna end well. Ooh. Yeah, that didn't end well at all. I gotta see that again. You know, that's the bummer with boats, man. We were just talking about this. I was down at the Healing Center filming last night. I was like, I love the idea of owning a boat. But man, I gotta snap that out of your brain real quick. Yeah. Boats are a lot of work. All right, that was your top 5 of 420, brought to you by the Healing Center, 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California. Save some green on some green. I don't think that's supposed to go in there, guy. Oh! The Fast and the Furious, he was not. Damn. Always, you know what? That sucks when you're working a job at someone else's house and they have a security camera and they can catch you falling. That sucks. No one pushed you, sir. You fell. What do we got here? Oh, shit. Oh, that was awesome. Oh, shit. Curious George. Oh, I don't speak Spanish. What does that say? Oh, shit. Watch. Oh, God. It says, watch your head. Oh. Oh, you gotta love it. You gotta love it when the freaking again, man. You know what? You can't get away with anything these days. You look at like everything that's going on in the world, security cameras everywhere. Man, you slip and fall at work. You do anything, man. You have the potential of going viral. Best just to stay in your house and get high every day. All right, guys, we are getting ready to count down to 420. We are under a minute. That is right. So what I need you to do is I need you to grab those bongs, grab those pipes, grab those steamrollers, grab those dab rigs, grab those Puffcos, grab your Flaming Hot Cheetos, grab your wine, that giant glass that holds a whole bottle of wine that we looked at this morning. If you guys haven't checked the 710 show, you're missing out, guys. And I've been getting high on this rocket fuel. Where are we at? There we are. That's a horrible image there. What this is, guys, this is Diamond Infused. Oh, man, available for $30 an eighth down at the Healing Center, and it is straight up fire, and you will not regret getting into it, guys. But whatever you're getting into, whatever you're doing, you need to stop. Take a deep breath. Meditate. Thank whoever you're going to thank that we're here on Earth because it's 420. Oh. That is right. How was your... Got to get the focus on me, that autofocus. How was your 420, guys? Mine was spectacular. You know it's good when you got the bong sweats. Damn. Woo! It is True Crime Friday, guys. This is part 2 in our Espanola Sheriff Department episode, guys. So yesterday we covered. Oh, I don't have my production value. I didn't import it yet. So okay, ready? All right. It's True Crime Thursday. Pow, 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 pow. Ah! Only on the Daily Dank. That is right. That was our production value, guys. Oh, I had to do something. We need that buffer. Gotta have that buffer. Okay. All right, guys. So what this is, we are covering the Espanola Sheriff Department. Man, this town is nuts. We are talking 2 sheriffs in a row have been sent to prison. The actual sheriff, not sheriff department member. Ooh, shoulders killing me today. Not sheriff department members, but actually, man, I don't like this out of focus. There we go. All right, we are talking sheriff, the actual elected official going to prison. 2 of them in a row. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there in Espanola, New Mexico, but man, I told you some of my New Mexico stories, man. New Mexico ain't nothing nice. Woo, we think we're tough. Roll down there to New Mexico. We'll see. All right, guys. Breaking Bad. They weren't far off on it. All right, guys. So we're going to do a quick recap, and then we're going to do a quick... Come on, focus. All right. Anyway, we're gonna do a quick recap. So if it's your first time watching, don't worry. We got you covered, guys. We're gonna cover the whole thing on this True Crime Thursday. Man, it gets nuts. Wait till you guys see this stuff.
Keep him up there.
Come over here, sir.
Keep him up there.
Sheriff,
Go.
what are you doing?
Stay out here.
Just stop.
Jesus. Really?
They hurt. Am I under arrest?
You're being detained.
Well, yeah. Why do I have to have cuffs on?
Serving and executing warrants are common elements of any cop's job, but what happens when that warrant has to be served on another police officer? How much do cops let their peers get away with? On May 14th, 2020 in New Mexico, warrants were served on Rio Arriba County Sheriff James Lujan for his personal and professional county-issued cell phones. The search was in relation to 2 instances in which Lujan, dressed in plain clothes, tried to interfere with the investigation of Espanola police. The officers involved confirmed they had not called him to either scene and felt that he was obstructing their efforts. The first incident occurred in March 2020 when police were attempting to serve former Espanola City Councilor Philip Chacon an arrest warrant relating to an attack on one of his tenants. Chacon did not immediately comply, however, he did barricade himself inside of his home. It was during this standoff that body cam footage showed Lujan randomly arriving on the scene.
Pull everybody out. I'll bring them in.
He instructed a female officer.
I don't want to pull them back.
Excuse me? I'm not asking. I'm telling you. I will bring him in. Okay? We don't need to make this bigger than what it is.
Hey, the sheriff just pulled in, and he's asking us to pull back, and he'll pull him in, but he's been drinking. I can smell it on him.
She then declared that she was going to call a superior officer to handle the situation because Lujan was already pushing his weight around with her. "We're not pulling back," she eventually shared with the other officer. Then she asked if he too smelled alcohol on Lujan, which he confirmed. Chacon eventually surrendered and was arrested. However, throughout the encounter, Lujan revealed to Espanola officers that he had been communicating with Chacon while he was still locked inside his home. He also showed her text messages that were meant to imply that Chacon wasn't actually inside of his home and instead in Santa Fe at one point. Throughout the investigation of Chacon's case, police found texts, Facebook messages, and emails that led to suspicious against City Councilor John Raymond.
All right, guys. So this is kind of where we left off yesterday. They're still going to talk about the warrant and the phones, but so he straight up the part they didn't cover. This is a newer video and with more information. They didn't cover. So he was actually trying to convince the police, the sheriff, that this guy wasn't at home, that he was in New Mexico or in Santa Fe, out of town, and that there's no one home. What are you guys doing here? Look, he's texting me from Santa Fe. Man, this freaking sheriff. Oh man, well, it's infuriating. Wait till we get even deeper into it, guys.
Alleged that Chacon sent Vigil information pertaining to other violent batteries he was involved with. When asked, first as a witness, by police about this, Vigil said that he received random stuff including pictures from Mr. Chacon that he would never view. He was also alleged to have coached Chacon on how to further elude demolition of property that he wanted to purchase during a council meeting. Because of his behavior and failure to assist police, Vigil was charged with 2 counts of conspiracy, 1 count of unlawful interest in a contract worth more than $50, all 4th-degree felonies, and a misdemeanor count of refusing to aid an officer in connection with Chacon's investigations. However, all charges were later dismissed. Vigil was actually elected mayor of Espanola in 2022, which was controversial among some of its residents and sparked the resignation of several former officials. All of this relates to the second incident Lujan involved himself in May 2022. Lujan decided to
Yeah, okay, so man, so this dude, we're getting to this point now. They didn't cover this yesterday, but this dude is the mayor now, and like he was the part of the, what did they charge him with, 4 felonies? Just to say, so this is the part where they're going to serve a warrant on this guy, and then the sheriff just randomly shows up.
Again, but this time with Undersheriff Martin Trujillo, with detectives Ernest Sasueto and Zach Wright, arrived at Vigil's home to serve a warrant for Vigil's phone, which was the source of some of the evidence mentioned earlier. During that incident, Lujan called and talked to Vigil's lawyer. However, Vigil eventually came out of his home and his phone was confiscated by the detectives without further incident.
Why is the sheriff here?
Lujan was already under suspicion for his odd behavior during the standoff with Chacon, and this additional intervention only grew the target on his back. In fact, he was already on 9th Judicial District Attorney Andrea Reeb's radar before the 2 incidents even occurred. She said that she received calls from numerous people accusing Lujan of wrongdoing, but all the accusers were too afraid and wanted to stay anonymous. So she was never able to pursue prosecution against him. Not until he pulled the 2 obstructions, that is. With his connections to Chacon and Vigil, it was soon apparent that Lujan's phones would also need to be seized, and a warrant was issued. Reeb said that she wanted to examine the nature of the communications Lujan engaged with Chacon and/or Vigil. She also stated that she also wanted to see if there were patterns in both of Lujan's alleged obstructions. Every encounter with law enforcement was combative. It was always a power thing with him, Reeb noted of Lujan's behavior. It was always this arrogance. It was always, I'm the top law enforcement official in the land or in Rio Arriba County. And the warrant similarly stated, Sheriff Lujan continues to show a pattern of arriving on active scenes in which Espanola police personnel are investigating crimes and interfering. This brings us back to May 14th. Lujan continued his defiant, higher-than-mighty behavior when officers attempted to serve the warrant, calling for 2 of his phones. Body cam footage showed Lujan reading the warrant and questioning its legality on numerous occasions.
Have the case number on here for the original.
Yeah, so we looked at that part yesterday, man, and I mentioned it. Everyone was in agreement. If anyone else in the world would have done what this guy did, they would have been on the ground. Like there would have been. There's so much leeway here. It's not even funny. But you know, the one thing I don't understand about this is growing up in rural areas like I have in my life. You've always like. City limits are the city police, and then the surrounding areas that the city isn't outside the city limits is the sheriff deputies. So I don't understand why this sheriff thinks he can just roll in to a city thing. I don't know. Well, obviously he couldn't. So I guess I don't need to understand it. We'll get in more to that in a little bit.
That's a PD case number. It doesn't have a magistrate or a district case. This is in district court too, and this is a magistrate warrant. Okay?
Lujan also declared to Wright and Sasueto that he wanted to talk with his lawyer, Nathaniel Tompkins, before the search warrant could be executed. Throughout the video, Lujan was continually argumentative, and he and others employed at the sheriff's office were allowed to roam around aimlessly, with several chances for Lujan to delete things off of the phones. At one point, he handed the phones to Trujillo, and then claimed he didn't even have them. As Lujan continued to be non-compliant, tensions rose so high that Police Chief Roger Ximenez, one of the officials who resigned after Vigil was elected mayor had to get involved.
You know, I don't want to, I really don't. I don't want to have to put anybody in cuffs. I don't. But if that's what I have to do, then I will do it. I don't want to do that.
Then, after Lujan, Jimenez, Wright, and Sesuedo found themselves outside, Lujan grinned and gestured to his body and said that the search warrant stated that the officers could search his person for the phones.
You have your search warrant says to search me for personal phones?
He has the phones. He already told me he has the phones.
Okay. That's not what the search warrant says, does it?
Okay, so you want...
Again, anyone else would not be allowed this freaking argumentative leeway, especially with a warrant out of a court. Like, oh no, he says you can search my persons. No, they're getting the phones, whether it's on your persons or what. Like, this guy.
Down the sheriff's office? You're going to stay out here, sir. Stay out here. For what? Because... No, Roger. Under sheriff, you can go through the court system. We're going to lock down this building until he gives me those scopes. Really? Yes, that's what the DA's office is. Really? Yeah. Where's he going? He's going out.
Now, this part right here as well is this sheriff officer. Never mind. I won't get into my personal politics, but this sheriff officer touches this city cop and grabs his arm aggressively. Again, anyone else would have been, Rosie, go. Damn it. Rosie. This dog. All right, anyone else would have, go lay down. Go lay down. Anyone else would have been in cuffs and aggressively taken down. Let's be honest. You touch a cop, that's where everything stops and things get serious. So, watch this leeway they get away with.
You're not going to stop me from leaving if I want to leave. Am I under arrest?
If we have to.
Am I under arrest?
Not now.
Get away from
Not now. Go back inside. We're going to go back in the office. Seriously.
Don't touch. Back up.
You can go in the office, but...
Back up. Don't touch. Don't reach.
For whatever reason, after a while, Lujan had a change of heart, and he ordered Trujillo to hand over the phones. However, Reeb, who was appointed as special prosecutor in the case, later said that she suspected that neither of the phones produced were the ones the prosecution wanted. She alleged that Lujan had a third phone that he had been seen talking on and using before the first search warrant. Lujan was arrested and charged with failing to comply with the stipulations of a search warrant and physically resisting arrest. He was also charged with resisting, evading, or obstructing an officer in relation to the Chacon and Vigil interactions. Under Sheriff Trujillo was charged with aggravated assault on a peace officer after ordering deputies to draw their firearms against the police who tried to execute the search warrant of Lujan, but his case was dismissed after he agreed to retire at the end of February 2022. But it turns out that this wasn't the only time Lujan had disobeyed the law and helped his friend Chacon evade police contact. In fact, on December 2nd, 2021, he was convicted by a Santa Fe jury of harboring a felon, in which he helped Chacon hide after a high-speed chase in 2017 and intimidating a witness when he told a deputy not to tell anyone where Chacon was. That was the second trial on those counts, as the jury couldn't reach a verdict in the first one, which occurred earlier in June. He was sentenced by State District Judge Kathleen McGarry Ellenwood to 3 years in prison and a year and a half of probation. As Lujan was being sentenced, the judge said, "There are some elected officials such as a judge, a district attorney, and a sheriff that are held to a higher standard." She also said that he let down the people of Rio Arriba County who elected him. Rio Arriba does not have its own laws, nor is the law applied any differently there than anywhere else in the state. Judge McGarry Ellenwood commented, "The law is the law. You are not above the law, nor can you ignore the law when it serves your purpose." Rio Arriba County Manager Lucia Sanchez confirmed that Lujan resigned an hour after he was convicted through a single-sentence letter in which he wrote that he was stepping down with a heavy heart. During the trial, Dennis Mayes, a private investigator hired by the New Mexico Attorney General's office, reminded the court of other instances of unethical behavior Lujan was accused of, including a pending civil case filed by the American Civil Liberties Union alleging that he harassed a journalist, a suit filed by a former deputy alleging that Lujan...
I could totally see this guy doing something like that, man. And I've never understood that with, especially like a sheriff. Anybody can run for sheriff. I can run for sheriff and win. If I had enough people to vote for me, and I have no law, and I have the opposite of law enforcement experience. So yeah, I don't get that whatsoever. I think, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that should be an elected position. Maybe I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah. And then I don't understand too. Like it's a county position, and this guy seems to be so up the city's butt. Maybe it's the only city in the county. I don't know what they got going on over there. But man, wait till you hear about this other sheriff too.
Violated the State Whistleblower Act, and a $55,000 settlement paid by Rio Arriba County in 2020 to a man who said Lujan pulled him over and shouted obscenities at him for having a Mexican flag on his truck on July 4th. Maya said, "During my time as a Secret Service agent, I was all over the world working with different law enforcement agencies, big ones, small ones, rich ones, poor ones, and I have never, ever had the experience of dealing with a law enforcement agency like that of Sheriff Lujan's. I would say that if there was anyone who deserves a substantial term of incarceration, it's James Lujan." It's interesting to note that Lujan was not the first Rio Arriba County sheriff to get into.
Yeah, before we get into this other one. So I don't understand that complaint. So the complaint was he yelled at a guy who had a Mexican flag on the 4th of July. You're in a town named Espanola, New Mexico. Like, read the room, pal. Like, what? It makes no sense. This whole story makes no sense.
Legal trouble. His predecessor, Thomas R. Rodella, is currently serving 10 years, broken down in 37 months for deprivation of rights and 84 months for brandishing a firearm while committing the civil rights offense, a total of 121 months of imprisonment. With 3 years of supervision to be completed after he is released from prison, he was also ordered to pay a $200,000 fine. During his trial, evidence established that on May 11, 2014, Rodella and his son, in Rodella's personal vehicle, engaged in an unwanted high-speed pursuit of a victim identified only as MT. They then blocked MT's vehicle on a dead-end lane. Rodella Jr. proceeded to drag MT from his car, and he identified his father as the sheriff. When MT asked to see Rodella's badge, he was assaulted with a firearm and the badge itself. After that encounter, Rodella told his deputies to arrest the man, and he was released from custody 2 days later. Hopefully, Mayes said during Lujan's trial, the next sheriff of Rio Arriba County will learn from Lujan and Rodella. It's not your fiefdom. It's not your kingdom. You are elected by the people, and it's your responsibility to protect and to serve them. After hearing conflicting testimony regarding Lujan's character, in which his son and one of his peers described him as compassionate and a hero who was the most honest and kind-hearted man, Judge McGarry Ellenwood said that she has felt if she was hearing the descriptions of two separate people. She told Lujan, "You did serve your community, and at times you served it well. At other times, you did not." When it came for him to address the court, Lujan simply said,
"Yes, Your Honor, I try to do the best that I can to help everybody I can, and I in no way would want to harm anyone."
After his sentencing, Lujan was not handcuffed, as many other convicted felons would be, and he grasped his hands against his chest while being escorted out of the courtroom. Lujan's attorney, Jason Bowles, said that he will likely appeal this verdict and asked the judge to let his client remain free pending that appeal. His request was denied. He is still awaiting trial for charges related to his behavior in 2020.
Damn, son. So yeah, so man, so he's doing 3 years. The other sheriff's doing 10. What the hell's going on in freaking Espanola, New Mexico? Holy crap! So yeah, guys, man, and then the one guy is the mayor now. Yeah, you thought needles was bad. Oh man, and people are like, "Oh no, the sheriff and the city, they couldn't be in cahoots." There's precedent. There is precedent. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys so much. How did you like that? That was our wrap up of part 2 of the Espanola sheriff corruption, true crime stories, guys. I think it was pretty good. Man, I'm enjoying these. You know what? We'll find more of these. I really love the audit, and these type of channels, guys. So make sure you're checking them out. All right, guys. I got to bounce out of here. I started a little late, so to get this uploaded in time, I need to stop now. All right, guys. I'm gonna be dropping a baked and unboxed either tonight or first thing in the morning. So be on the lookout for that, guys. Have a good weekend. Check out the Healing Center Super Bowl. Who do you guys got? Blow up those comments. We'll be dropping other videos, guys. I'm working on something special for Super Bowl, and we got a whole nother Healing Center video for Super Bowl, guys. Super Bowl deals. So be on the lookout for that. All right, guys. Appreciate you so much. Kingman Crew, usual suspects, man. I ain't never seen a community like you guys have. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you guys so much taking care of one another. And I will see you guys just in a little bit. All right. Peace.
Thank you for joining us on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. Broadcasting worldwide and brought to you by thedailydank.com. Check out our merchandise and amazing content. And follow us on all our social media. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.